So a Superman impersonator was found dead, and this guy's been doing it for a long time. I've seen this guy before. He's been around Hollywood. He's on Hollywood. He was on Hollywood Boulevard. I've seen this guy a bunch of times. And he was found dead today. Or wait, it might have been yesterday. Christopher Dennis, a street performer known for portraying Superman on Hollywood Boulevard for more than 25 years, has died. Law enforcement sources tell us Dennis was found dead Saturday in the San Fernando Valley. His body was discovered lying headfirst in a bin that's used for clothing donations. So there he is on Hollywood Boulevard. Investigators believe Christopher, who was homeless, was attempting to gather clothes for himself. Our sources say no foul play is suspected. Dennis's story is both charming and tragic. After 2 decades of entertaining folks in Hollywood by impersonating the Man of Steel, he was the victim of a vicious assault and robbery that nearly killed him and left him without a way to make money. So he was probably self-employed. He was, like, I'd imagine, he was a Superman impersonator. He was probably a contractor, self-employed or whatever. So he may not have had the best health insurance. He may not have had health insurance at all. So when he was assaulted, he probably had to fork his own medical bills, and it probably pretty much bankrupted him and left him homeless. Because that's the American way, right? That's the American way. He was rendered homeless, this is getting back to the article, but thanks to the help of friends and a Kickstarter campaign, he got a new suit that allowed him to get back on his feet, and he returned to the boulevard for the Superman fans. He also starred in the documentary Confessions of a Superhero and appeared multiple times on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Sadly, it seems he fell on hard times again recently. He was 52 years old. So 25 years, this guy impersonated Superman. He was a street performer. And he was homeless. Man, it's such a brutally poetic truth that this man was in a clothing bin looking for clothing for himself, and he was homeless. And he was dressed up as Superman, the guy who's supposed to embody the American way. But Superman wasn't real, but this guy was real. This was real. So maybe this is the real American way. Maybe this is the real American way. That's a real American story, actually. A guy's a street performer doing his thing, making an honest living as a street performer, gets assaulted, gets robbed, which could happen to anybody. In fact, you're way more susceptible to that in that line of work because you're on the street a lot. And another thing is that, people who are looking to rob somebody, they know that a street performer presumably has a lot of cash on them. Because that's how they work. They get paid mostly in cash. You take a picture with them, they do a pose, whatever, they give you a few bucks. So they know that this person has cash. That person in the Superman costume, they probably have cash. And they probably were following him, and they saw a right time where there weren't a lot of people around. It could happen to anybody. It could happen to you. It could happen to me. It could happen to anybody, especially in that line of work. And then he was homeless and was still homeless. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Rest in power. Rest in power, Chris. Christopher Dennis is his full name. Yeah, and I remember seeing that guy around. I would see him around. And he really did. He looked a lot like Superman. You can tell in the picture, like he looks a lot like Superman. Oh, wait, here, let me show. I was showing it to myself and not to you guys. I was like, yeah, look, he looks a lot like Superman. Sad story for the street performing community in LA, which, by the way, I've done some of that before myself. I was a mascot once. It's not easy work, by the way. It is and people can be very mean. Like, and I'm sure we all know this. It's not like I'm saying anything, but I was very young when I did it. I was like just out of college, and I was a mascot part-time. And there were people who, I mean, one guy rolled down his window because I would do like I was like a sign pointer, and like one guy rolled down his window and he like got my attention, like he motioned for me, and like I kind of leaned in, you know, I didn't go like close to his car or whatever because I didn't know what his deal was, but I kind of leaned in, and he just goes, "You must have been really desperate for a job, huh?" And I just kind of and I wasn't really supposed to talk to people, so I just kind of smiled and, you know, shook and went away and just went, you know. But I'm like, you went out of your way. You slowed your vehicle down. You rolled down your window. I mean, I thought maybe he was going to say something nice, and some people did do nice things. There were some people that like, you know, they always drove past, they would like honk and they would wave and they would smile. One of the things that I would use my sign to play air guitar. So there would be people, they would drive by and they'd be like, "Do the air guitar." And I would always be playing music. So I'd be rocking out. But yeah. And so there were some nice people too, but man, like he like went out of his way to just shit on a stranger. Like, what's wrong with you when you go out of your way to shit on a stranger? Like, who does it? Like, it's like people do it. I mean, but it's like, man, there's something wrong with the way you were raised. Like something seriously wrong if you go out of your way to just make somebody feel bad about themselves. Anyway. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make